What's going on, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome to episode 121 of Lured Up, the podcast where we take Pokemon Go way more seriously than we do ourselves. Lured Up is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Wednesday, March 4th, 2020. I'm your host, Ken, joined by my co-host, Adam. Adam, how are you, man?
Oh,
how
I'm doing
are you?
absolutely
how are you doing?
fantastic.
How you doing?
Probably the best
That ever was?
there ever was.
That's
yes.
great.
Yes.
That's awesome. Dude, you had a good week, man. I'm seeing you all over the internet.
Yeah, I traveled across the land and I searched far and wide.
So before we even get into the show, you got to do your raid day with the Team Galaxy crew, which is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I went to PAX East, so I broke away after, demoing some games, seeing the sites, picking up a few cards. Got there probably like 7 minutes after 1 or whenever it started. So 2. So yeah, it was like 2:07, something like that. And I walk, just my Uber ride over, Lyft ride over was not the best, but I get there. I walk through the middle of the park. I can see the crowd. I see everybody standing there. I kind of like slowly weave in and I'm just kind of standing there. And somebody called out a fan fee that was 100%.
Yes.
And I had already jumped into the raid because I was running late. So I backed out of the raid, ran over, got the 100% fan fee, but like it wasn't a massive swarm. It was almost like nobody really cared about it. They were all more interested in the party hat Gengar.
Well, and raiding with YouTubers,
Well, I get
man.
I get that, but I was like, no way. I'm out of this. So I jump out, I catch it, and then I jump back into the same raid that I was already in. So it was only like 20 seconds, but it was awesome. I got my first Gengar with the party hat. I was like, sweet. Immediately after, I see Holly, Zoe. I can see Brandon and Gilly in the distance. So it was just funny. Like Zoe kind of like, we made eye contact and I was kind of like, hey, but she like took me under her wing and she was super friendly, super nice, genuine, 100% genuine. She's just awesome,
she's awesome,
super positive. And like everybody was. It was an amazing day. We did 8 Nidorino and 4 Gengar. Only one of my Gengars was shiny. No shiny Nidoran. But we walked all over Boston Commons. Broke off a little bit. Kind of went exploring a little bit. I know I left before the time was done. But they continued on. But at the end, I got some selfies. Then, Holly and I had a chat.
Let me take a selfie. No, it was cool, man. It was cool that you got to see everybody and do some raiding. So you saw more Nidorino than Gengar?
Yes.
That's wild. I saw the opposite. It was pretty much 80 or 90% Gengar for me. And the Nidorinos were few and far between, but I had a ridiculous experience that has nothing even remotely close has ever happened to me. Anything like this happened to me before. So we had a group of, I think, something like maybe 30 or so. So we had a nice size, walk food group. And we do our first raid, and I get the shiny, right? So that right out of the gate, that never freaking happens. And the fact that it's a variant shiny, it's really the first one that I've ever got. So I've never had any of the Pichu or Pikachu or Eevee or anything like that, like the variant versions as shinies. I've never had that. So I was fired up. I was doing the shiny dance. It was hilarious. So we get to the second raid, do that one, Gengar, and it's shiny again. I like now
What?
Everyone's like busting my chops. They're like, what the hell is going on here? Like no one else in the group got shinies in the first 2 raids out of 30. And the first 2 raids, I got back-to-back shinies. So we get to the third raid, Gengar, and everyone's really busting my chops now. And they're like, trying to take my phone and, do all this crazy stuff, like being real funny. Finish the third raid, another fucking shiny. The first 3 Gengar raids I did were back-to-back-to-back shinies. I could not believe it, dude. Nothing like that has ever happened. It was absolutely nuts. I was feeling it, man. I was jamming. I felt so good about like just being out there. It was a lot of fun. And I think I probably, Red Bank is awesome for grinding and for community days and for restocking, but it's not great for raids when you're on foot per se, because there's probably only about 9-10 gyms, so you can get through them pretty quick. So I kind of did the main ones with the group. There was only 2 or 3 Nidorino in the area. We did those. I didn't get any shinies, so I was like, you know what? I got my 3 Gengars. Let me, I'm going to just take a break and eat. So I broke off from the group, stopped, got myself some food, and I was like, you know what? I'll drive home, and on my way home, if I see any Nidorinos, I'll stop and do them and see if I can grab the shiny. So I probably took about an hour and a half off of the event. So I only raided about half the amount of time. And on my way home, I saw 3 Nidorino raids. And on my last Nidorino raid, literally at 4:59 p.m., I did it. That one ended up being shiny. So I ended the day with 3 shiny Gengar and a shiny Nidorino. It was amazing. It was like the best freaking raid day I ever had.
See, I really wanted the Nidorino.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the Gengar looks weird. Like not the color of the shiny, but like the position of its hat. It almost looks like a unicorn horn, sort of.
Yes.
They should have put it over like one of its ears, like on the side, like thugged out a little bit. That would have been funny as hell. That's good though. All right, so we had a good raid weekend. That was good stuff. All right, so now I can get to the summary of the show here. We got a ton of shit to talk about today. Last week our episode was packed to the gills with news, and this episode is going to be no different. And it might even be more news. I don't know. But here we go. The Go Battle League preseason is coming to an end over the next couple weeks, and we have a ton of news regarding Season 1. So we're going to break into all of that. We had a Shadow Pokemon rebalancing. We saw this in the data mine a couple weeks ago. So this went through, and we'll kind of talk about whether or not they're worth the Stardust investment, but the internet is all over the place when it comes to this. Niantic has made some big changes in the name of trainer safety. So we'll kind of talk about the implications of the coronavirus and how this is affecting Pokemon events and really just global events at large when it comes to these big kind of events. Team GO Rocket Takeover is this weekend. We'll get you ready for that. Thunderous has hit raids as of today, or as of yesterday, from the day of this recording. So we'll do a little raid guide and battle party for that. And then finally, we'll poke the bear with the irony here. The question that I came up with was, is Niantic killing us with events? And I put this out there before the news came out of additional events that we're about to cover. So it just makes a lot more sense now, even more so than it did, before 2 hours ago when I caught wind of this stuff. So here we go. Go Battle League. Adam, have you still been playing? I know you were kind of wishy-washy with Master League.
I played my set, and I only won 1 match. I'm a total loser.
You played 1 set?
Yep.
Oh,
no,
man.
because I was getting mad. I had been sitting down. I took a lunch break, and I sat down out back, and I said, I'm just gonna bust them out. I'm gonna do all 5, because I was trying to explain it to my coworker about the Battle League, and I was just trying to I was like showing her, and I was like, watch how brutal this is. I was like, I just get like creamed, and then I ended up winning, but like by a landslide. So I was like, wait a minute, something's not right. I was like, maybe my switch of my team made it better. I don't know. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go on break. I'm going to sit down and do the rest of these and try to win all 5. Whew, this is where it gets interesting.
And then you got wrecked.
It wasn't that I got wrecked. It's that 3 out of the 4 other games, I was tapping and I had my charge attack and I tapped it like 3 or 4 times and it didn't go off, but their attack, like they were attacking me.
They were clearly cheating.
No. And my charge attack wouldn't go off. And then it's like, oh, an attack is incoming. And I'm like, I won that match. Like,
yeah,
I was hitting it. And then like the next match was, I got the Wheel of Death. Yep. And like out of nowhere, like I have my Pokemon fainted. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then the next match, the same thing. I'm winning almost like I have a whole nother Pokemon in the back end. I bring it in and they have like 4 charge moves go off. I'm like, I can't even explain it. I was like, they had already used one before my next Pokemon came out. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Here I am tapping and it's not doing any damage. It's not even showing my attack animation.
There's been some issues with latency still. There's been a lot of drama online, people accusing people of cheating and all that, and it's like right
I'm
now.
not saying anybody was cheating.
No, I know,
not
you.
Something was not right in the data.
Well, there's definitely a lot of lag still. There's a lot of latency, and weird shit happens with the lag. So, when you get the Wheel of Death, and everyone's just frozen, like that's one thing. But some weird shit that happens during the charge move sequence and during like the shielding sequence, if you hit a certain type of lag when you shield, you can use your shield, it'll function, but it won't remove the shield from your pool. So there was a video floating around of someone using 4 shields in one match. You're like, what? This person's a cheater. And it's like, no, just because they were lagging through it and the game didn't recognize that they were using a shield. So there's definitely weird shit going on with the lag, but well, at least you did your set. You got a little Stardust for it.
Yeah, right.
So I didn't recognize this at first, but originally the preseason was supposed to end on March 9th. They've bumped that. So now it's actually going to end on Friday, March 13th at 1 p.m. PST. So we got a little extra time in the preseason. We're unaware of what the end of season rewards are going to be, but Niantic, oh, by the way, this is coming from PokemonGoLive.com. Niantic did announce that all trainers rank 4 or higher are going to get a premium battle pass as part of their end of season reward. So that's good. Free stuff is always good.
That's nice of them.
But here's the big news. And, we talked about events and there's just more shit coming. So strap in. But I like this. From Thursday the 5th, so the day this podcast comes out, tomorrow from the time we're recording this, through Friday the 13th. So from tomorrow, or from the time you hear this through the end of the preseason, all 3 leagues will be available. So you could play any combination of sets that you want. So you pick your match, what you want to do, and choose your league, which is really exciting because if you're not having a good time with Master League, you can go back and do Great League or do any combination of whatever. So it gives you that option to play in whatever league you want. And this is going to help for trainers that did really well and say like you did really well in Great and Ultra, but you're getting your ass handed to you in Master. You can kind of make up some of that rank in the last, 8 days or whatever it is that we have here. So I really like that they're doing this. Now, for a limited time, trainers that have reached rank 4 in Go Battle League can encounter Darkrai, Altered Form Giratina, or Thundurus as rewards. Now, we mentioned this last week. I recorded a little bumper that due to the coronavirus, the in-game events for Japan, South Korea, and Italy are affected. There's things that are changing, things that are getting canceled, things that are getting postponed or moved around. So what they're doing here is they're making rewards for Go Battle League and substituting like the raid weekends for Go Battle League rewards. So people don't necessarily have to get out there and walk or go out there and do a raid train. You'll be able to enjoy this stuff from home. So in Japan, South Korea, and Italy, Go Battle League has no cost. So you're able to do this without walking, without paying any Poké coins. And Darkrai is going to be available as a reward from the 6th through the 9th. Altered Form Giratina is going to be available as a reward from the 13th through 16th. So it's going to correspond with their raid weekends. And Thundurus is available now until further notice. So this is a weird thing that happened. Niantic did not make their announcement yet, and people started posting online that they're getting Thundurus. So immediately they're like, Niantic fucked up again. Bah! You know what I mean? Like people love fucking bashing on Niantic and shitting.
Because they didn't get their Scraggy? Are you serious?
Like, right. Like, yeah, instead of getting the fucking, like they'd rather have a fucking Scraggy than Thundurus. But, so they immediately say, like, oh, Niantic fucked up. They're not on top of their shit. Another thing they fucked up, Niantic fucking sucks. And then Niantic Indigo comes up on Reddit and is like, no, this is intentional, and announcement's coming soon. So, I addressed this on Instagram and on Twitter. It's, we have this tendency as a community, and I'm part of this community, and the way that this community reacts is a reflection of all of us. And when something unexpected happens, people immediately think that Niantic fucked up. And it's like, we got to lose that fucking mindset. And it's like, even when Niantic came out and said, no, this was intentional, they still didn't believe it. People are still going, yeah, you're just saying that. Or, yeah, you fucked up and you're trying to cover for yourself. Like, it's crazy. Anyway.
That's insane. Like, give them some credit. Come on.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, cut them some fucking slack. We talked last week how there's a deluge of events, right, for March?
Yeah. That was the entire episode. It was just an event list.
Well, there's more.
There's
more. Tuesday the 10th through Thursday the 12th, in preparation to get people, ready for Go Battle League. Skarmory, Swampert, Shieldon available in raids. I'd imagine these are going to be, kind of between tier 1 and tier 4. And then Registeel and Cresselia will be in 5-star raids. So
I can just see people swarming to Registeel.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Cresselia too. And then Friday the 13th through Monday the 16th, we have the Altered Form Giratina weekend. We knew about that. But now they're adding fighting-type Pokemon appearing more frequently in the wild. Shiny Timber will be released in 1-star raids. So you could potentially get a shiny Timber.
That's a nice
exciting.
one.
Some bonuses here. If you go 5 for 5, you're going to get a bonus premium raid pass. This is huge if you're doing all of your sets every day. It's an opportunity to really score some cool raid passes. Now here's this. Go Battle League sets will be 7 sets instead of 5. So you're going to be able to do up to 35 battles per day rather than just 25 per day. And they don't tell us how much, but you're also going to be getting bonus Stardust. So we've got shit happening in the middle of the week. We've got shit piling on top of the Altered Form Giratina raid weekend. It's a lot. We have some changes to the Go Battle League. And we all knew that through the preseason they were going to tweak things, and things could potentially change as they go into Season 1. And here we go. Rank will now determine the amount of Stardust and TM rewards that you receive. So I'd imagine as your rank gets higher, you're going to get additional Stardust. So you'll earn more Stardust as a rank 8 player than a rank 2 player, something like that. Ranks 2 and 3 now require you to win a certain number of battles to advance.
I like that.
Previously, wins only mattered starting at rank 4. So ranks 1, 2, and 3, all you had to do was play, and regardless of the outcome, you would eventually rank up. Now you actually, for ranks 2 and 3, you actually have to win. Okay, the Pokemon you encountered as Go Battle League rewards will change with Season 1. Metagross will be a guaranteed first encounter reward for Season 1. That's exciting. At rank 4, you'll have a chance to encounter Beldum. At rank 7, you'll have a chance to encounter Rufflet. Now, Rufflet was supposed to be the exclusive Pokemon being released at Safari Zone Philadelphia. So, what does this mean for Rufflet in Philly? Are they going to replace it? The graphical key art is already out. The key art's out with Rufflet on it. The City Explorer
Well, we're still getting shiny Voltorb, right?
Yeah, but it's not a new poke. I sound like the internet now. You're right. Yes,
people have already bought tickets.
No, we are still getting shiny Voltorb. So yes, you are right. And Braviary will be in raids and stuff like that. But I just thought it was weird that they announced Rufflet as being debuted at Safari Zone Philadelphia, and now they're changing that. A little weird. Pikachu Libre. We saw this in the data mines. We knew it was coming. Now, Pikachu Libre will be a guaranteed reward for hitting rank 10 in Season 1. That's exciting.
Like that.
Something to work towards. And in the future, Pikachu Libre will be available at lower ranks, but they're making it exclusive for rank 10 reward in Season 1. Machop, Snorlax, and Meditite will no longer appear in the Go Battle League reward pool, and Scraggy will be appearing more frequently. Thank goodness, because the amount of fucking starters I've been getting, and Lapras, I keep getting fucking Lapras. It's killing me. I'd much rather have the Scraggy. I want that candy, and it has some relevance.
Hey, at least you're getting those Pokemon. I can't even get to the Pokemon reward.
Get good, bro.
Don't laugh at me.
Spend a premium battle pass and win 2. You got to be able to win 2, man.
I can't win 2. Not in Masters.
Goodness.
Not in Great League. Wait, no, not in Ultra League. But Great League I can do.
Towards the end of the preseason, you're going to be able to choose your league. So go back to playing Great League, and hopefully you'll be able to, get that Scraggy. This is a pretty exciting one, this next thing. Rank 10, you'll be able to get avatar items and an avatar pose inspired by Steven. Steven was the Hoenn.
So this is going to be a nice red tie, a blazer.
Yeah, it's like an awesome crossover. Like, I like that they're bringing regional elements from the main series games into Go and kind of combining those two canon, lore together, because they are in different universes, but we are seeing crossover. I like that a lot.
Yeah, because it's inspired by Steven.
Right. At the end, but they're calling it Steve. They're saying Steven by name, and they're saying he was the champion in Hoenn. So
I wonder if this is going to be like a pointing pose, or like a hands on hip type thing, or like one hand on the hip and the other like on his chin.
I don't know. That we'll have to see. We'll have to see when Valor Ash hits rank 10. we'll have to ask him to send a screenshot right away. But at the end of season 1, if you reach rank 7, you're going to get an elite charged TM. We saw this in the code a couple weeks ago. Adam, you talked about HMs coming to the game a year ago. And if you don't know what an HM is, HM was like a hidden machine, but it was like a specific move that played like a certain role.
Yeah, long story short, I was thinking that they would give us like one super ultimate TM that would allow us to change and use a community day move. Now this is a little bit better because it's allowing you to pick the move you want, but it's also, you can use it for a community day move as well.
That's massive. That is massive. So if you have like, a Swampert that you've caught in the wild that's perfect IVs for PvP, and it doesn't have Hydro Cannon, you'll be able to elite TM into Hydro Cannon. That's exciting. That's awesome.
Right. Or if you have your 100%, Rhyperior like I do, who I evolved forever ago.
Right.
I can now have Rockricker.
Yeah, exactly. But this elite, they say the elite charge TM will be a reward at the end of season 1, but they also announce here that they are releasing elite fast and charge TMs. So maybe they're going to come to the store. I'd imagine that this is probably going to be a premium item, like a premium purchasable, consumable item in the store. I think that's how they would do it. But you will get one at the end of season 1, elite charge TM if you reach rank 7. That's cool. And then finally, we have a full breakdown of the season 1 schedule. Great League running from, and this is like 1 p.m. to 1 p.m. PST. Great League from the 13th to the 27th. Ultra League from March 27th to April 10th. Master League from April 10th to April 24th. And then finally, all 3 leagues available, just like they're doing at the end of the preseason, from April 24th to May 1st. And season 2 will pick up right there, May 1st. And then in the notes, I even wrote here, wow, 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 wee, wow, wow.
Wow.
It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's getting very hard to keep track of. So last week, I talked about creating a Google Calendar with all the events. I did put that together. It is available. I'll link to it in the description if you want to add that to your Google Calendar. The process of adding it to an existing Google Calendar is a little cumbersome. Sometimes mobile and desktop don't really jive too well, but if it gives you any trouble, just let me know, and I'll try to walk you through it. But it definitely, people that are experienced with Google Calendar that use it every day of their life are having trouble getting it to appear in their calendar because they're looking at it on mobile or something like that. So it is very cumbersome, but I will make sure to update that calendar with all of this new information. I'll update it tomorrow because there's just tons of stuff coming out. And I mean, some of these days, like the weekend of St. Louis Safari Zone, I mean, there's like 4 things compounded on top of each other. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So holy shit balls. A lot is going on. All right, Adam, why don't you talk to us about some Shadow Pokes, because they received a nice little, I guess you can call it a Shadow bonus, but it's not all positive.
This is coming from PokemonGoLive.com and PokemonGoHub.net. The announcement was made on PokemonGoLive.com, but GoHub gives us, the details, which is Shadow Pokemon now deal more damage, which is 1.2 times the attack increase, and Shadow Pokemon now take more damage, which is a 0.83 times defense decrease. It's called the Shadow bonus.
Yeah, the game calls it a Shadow bonus, and when you're looking at your moves, you're actually going to see this stacking with weather bonus. So it does stack with weather bonus. So when you use a Shadow Pokemon with weather bonus, it's awesome. It's awesome.
To take down like a gym, you're going to deal a ton of damage.
Yep.
Powering up and teaching a second move is going to cost less dust and candy, which is huge because, we like our Stardust. And just for example, if the costs were 30,000 dust and 75 candy, it's now 12,000 dust and 30 candy. 150,000 dust and 160 candy, it's now 60,000 dust and 60 candy.
Yeah, so it's definitely a lot of savings there.
Exactly. And so Giovanni's legendaries are now going to be more powerful. Not sure what this exactly means. Base IVs, base stats.
Yeah, they don't really give us much info there. I didn't. Maybe their IV floor will just raise, like maybe 12, 12, 12 or something like that is the lowest you can get.
See, that's what I hope, because like I have all 3 of the birds and they're junk.
Oh, dude,
I have the Raikou and
mine are shit.
Junk.
They're garbage, like absolutely garbage.
Yeah, it's like a 1, 2, 3. Like what? What am I supposed to do with that? Even if I purify it, it's still going to be awful.
Yeah. So what does this mean for PvP? Now, people were losing their shit. You saw like some people like Valor Ash say like, let's not go crazy yet. Let's not worry about this. And then you had some people like Ryan Swag that were like, this is fucking madness, like getting real fired up over it. Because if you look at the DPS rankings, this fucking turns them on their head. Alakazam with Psychic, which is a legacy, but Alakazam with Psychic is now higher DPS than Mewtwo with Psystrike. Granted,
wow,
it's way more of a glass cannon, but even than Mewtwo. But from a DPS perspective, these things are going to have serious fucking output. But really, I don't think you should really worry about PvP too much yet. Let it shake out a little bit.
They might actually like take Shadow Pokemon away, like you can't use them in PvP or something.
Well, Sylph said they were actually considering that. So I know that's definitely on the table for Sylph. I don't know if Niantic would do that. But Sylph Cups, that's actually on the table.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And what does this mean for PvE, doing raids and stuff like that? That's where you're really going to see this stuff shine if you happen to have a solid IV Shadow Pokemon, which is really rare. But if you have like a perfect IV Shadow Pokemon, it's going to be fucking legit, because now you're going to have that reduced Stardust cost. You're going to want them fully powered up, and it'll cost less to get them there. So it's exciting for Shadow Pokemon that you're going to be able to use them, and they're going to have more of a functional reason to use them in raids. And, I
love it.
Yeah, we'll get to it in a minute, but when it comes down to the Team Rocket takeover and being able to TM frustration away, we'll talk about that in a bit, but that plays a role here as well.
Oh, that means I have to go through all my Shadow Pokemon.
Dude, and before they announced this, I cleaned up all my Shadow fucking Pokemon too, and I got rid of so many. Some of them, they didn't necessarily have good PvP IVs or anything, but knowing the information I know now, I may have kept some of them. I literally just cleaned up. Like I just transferred so many. I'm
Yeah,
going
I
for a
keep
living
one
deck,
so I can. It's kind of like shinies. Like you keep one of, the Bulbasaur, the Charmander.
Right. That's
or
what
the
I'm doing.
Bulbasaur,
I'm doing a living deck, so
Ivysaur,
it's like I
Venusaur.
want the Shadow, but it's like fuck.
Exactly.
It's just too many. I need more storage. You want to talk about some of this stuff that's been going on with the coronavirus? This is pretty heavy duty shit.
So Niantic is putting trainer safety first. This is coming from G2G.media. Due to the coronavirus, Niantic has made some serious changes in Japan, South Korea, and Italy. Remember that Pokemon GO is not available in China?
Yeah, a lot of people, I was hearing that question a lot, like, oh, why is Italy getting events removed and China isn't? And it's like, well, because Pokemon GO isn't in China at all, so that's not applicable.
Exactly. And the following events are suspended until further notice: Spotlight Hours, Raid Hours, Darkrai, and Altered Form Giratina raid weekends. I know that they had to adjust the Gengar and Nidorino raid as well.
Yep.
Abra Community Day has been postponed.
Yep, we'll talk about that at the end of the show.
And to compensate in those areas, free Go Battle League, no walking or coin investments, improve Go Battle League bonuses, Meltan boxes last 1 hour, Incense last 1 hour. Thundurus was added to the Global Battle League reward pool globally, so that means that you don't have to leave your house. You can just get it if you're good at battling, unlike me.
Come on, man, it's not that hard.
And like Ken said earlier in the show, this caused a shitstorm online.
Yeah, it did.
On a bright note, incense have been reduced to 40 coins globally.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
awesome.
50% off, folks.
Yeah, that's
get
a good
them
deal.
while they're hot.
Yep.
And we're seeing a lot of events being canceled globally beyond Pokemon GO. The ITB in Berlin was canceled this week. There's a German Pokemon GO event too. The GDC in San Francisco was postponed. Possibly canceled.
Yeah, so the GDC is the Gaming Developers Conference, and this was a big one because, I mean, people had already traveled, people were already in town, and, it's crazy. It's, there's a lot of shit going on, and, what can we do? You know what I mean? It's just like the Go Fest last year, there was a thunderstorm on the Saturday of Go Fest, and Niantic said the trainer's safety is important enough for us to pull the plug on the fucking event while this thunderstorm is going on. So if they're willing to do that to their flagship event over a thunderstorm, you best believe if there's, a global health crisis going on, they're going to take some drastic measures. And, it sucks for trainers in those areas. And, Zoe actually brought up a pretty wild point that there's some neighboring countries to Italy that, even though they're not in like a quarantine zone, or they're not in that, shouldn't be considered Italy per their geography, the game considers them Italy based on like how the S2 cells are broken out. So even though they're not in Italy, their stuff is getting affected. So I know Niantic is working on fixing that. So there's just a lot of stuff going on. Wash your hands, people. That's all.
Yeah.
That's
the thing is too, it's like with these raid events and stuff, and to help, there's 2 cases in New Hampshire right now, and it's like to be, not grouped up with people, because that's what raiding is all about.
Right.
I feel like they should make the raid bosses just a little bit weaker, so 2 or 3 trainers could take it on versus 5 or 6.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, that still would require you to go out. I think that's why they're putting them as Go Battle League rewards. And in those countries, there's no walking requirement to play in Go Battle League right now. So that way,
that makes sense. Yeah.
That way you can do your 5 sets of 5 battles, have 5 opportunities to potentially encounter them per day. So I think that they're doing a good job of protecting their player base, but then also compensating where they can to, make those trainers not necessarily feel completely, left flat, left out.
There's no FOMO going on there.
But it's fucking everywhere else as we'll learn about when we poke the bear in a bit. But yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty fucking wild.
All right, but isn't Team GO Rocket taking over again?
It is. Team GO Rocket is in fact taking over. It's going to be this weekend, Friday the 6th at 8 a.m. through Monday the 9th at 10 p.m. Info courtesy of G2G.media again. We have Poison, Dark, and other Team GO Rocket related Pokemon will be appearing more frequently in the wild, including Absol. That's exciting. I need that Absol. And Shiny Skorupi, released for the first time during the weekend. And Niantic heard you liked events, so they put an event inside their event. Saturday, the 7th, from 2 to 5 p.m., is the official Team GO Rocket Global Takeover. Grunts, leaders, and ultimately Giovanni will be more active. This doesn't mean you're going to be able to do multiple Giovannis. What I'm assuming is that you're going to you'll see less dummies, less decoys to get to Giovanni. All team leader shiny shadow Pokemon will be returning. So that means when you battle Cliff, you can have a chance to get shiny Meowth, Stantler, or his current Pokemon Pinsir. Sierra, you can get shiny Sneasel, Absol, or Beldum. And Arlo will have shiny Scyther, Bagon, and Mawile, all available potential shiny Pokemon coming back. I like that. You're going to get double Stardust from doing Team GO Rocket battles. So Grunts are normally 500 Stardust. During the event with a star piece, that's up to 1,500. Leaders normally give you 1,000. So during the event with a star piece, 3,000 Stardust. And here's the big one. Defeating Giovanni is normally 5,000 Stardust. If you do it during the event with a star piece on, 15,000 Stardust just from beating Giovanni. Ooh. So you're going to be, you have all month to do the Giovanni quest. You're going to want to knock it out this weekend and drop a star piece. So you can get that bonus Stardust because it's double Stardust plus the the 1.5 multiplier with the star piece. It's good stuff. Here's the big one. During the 2 to 5 p.m. window, using a TM on a Shadow Pokemon, charge TM, you'll be able to change Frustration, the exclusive Shadow charged move, and you'll be able to get one of the original charge moves from that pool. So what I recommend, not only just to make those Pokemon viable, but you kind of want to future-proof your Shadow Pokemon. So if you've got good starters, fucking use that TM. Get away from frustration, because if they do, you get the Elite Charge TM, or they do another Community Day recap thing where you can get that, evolve up, you can ultimately have that in the bag and prepared to go. I also recommend the Larvitar line is another good one to TM frustration away. The Dratini line. I'm going to use it on all of my Giovanni legendaries. Like, I don't want frustration at all. So if I'm going to, and I'm sitting on like almost 100 fucking charged TMs. So it's like, I'm going to be going buck wild during this.
That's too many.
I know. I've been saving them. I've been hoarding them, so now's the time to use them. So I'll probably go through 50 of them between 2 and 5 p.m. on Saturday. So I would plan ahead. You may want to even label your Pokemon TM or something like that, so they're easy to pull up and you don't have a lot of downtime sorting through your Pokemon. You may want to do that ahead of time. But this is cool. This is, something that we didn't think we'd see, and now we have it. So be prepared for it. And while the team leader rosters haven't changed, Giovanni's lineup has changed slightly. So he always starts with Persian. We know he always finishes with a legendary, but that second Pokemon varies. So Hippowdon and Cloyster were part of that pool. They're out. Now it's Kingler and Rhyperior taking their place. So Persian to start. Use your fighting Pokemon, Machamp. Lucario's a little squishy, but that's good too to burn the shields. You could even use Melmetal. For Kingler, I would use electric or grass Pokemon like Magnezone or Roserade. He could have Steelix. Steelix is probably the biggest pain in the ass out of all of them. But you could use fighting-type Pokemon like Lucario or water-type Pokemon like Kyogre. I like using Kyogre because ultimately when you face Entei, you're going to want a water Pokemon anyway. And then Rhyperior is another option for that second Pokemon. Again, Kyogre is another good one to use, and it'll carry you into Entei. And, when you face Entei, use a water type. I mean, Kyogre's good. If you don't want to use water, you can bring Garchomp or something like that. But
yeah, come on, folks, make a splash.
Yes, no, I have 100% Kyogre, and I try to use it as often as I can, and I've been doing really well in Master League with it. But, woo! All right, that was almost 40 minutes, man. That's I think we're due for a break, little breaky break.
Take a nap.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do a little housekeeping, get some miscellaneous news in, and do a little thunderous raid guide and battle party, and then finally poke the bear. All right, we'll be back right after this. And we're back from our break. Thank you guys so much for that. All right, a little housekeeping before we get into the back half of the show. This podcast is powered by Patreon. Please check ours out over at patreon.com/Pokemon Professor, where you can support this show for as little as $1 a month. And that $1 will get you access to our patron-exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people.
It sure is.
And I want to give a huge shout out to our show supporter tier patrons: Brittany, Jay, James, Matt, M. Pitts, Terry, David, Chris, Sydney, The Noise, Harry, Pokénab, Bhatt, Purple Pancakes, Dim Gears Be Bangin', Lady Goobly Meat, Go Ranger, Matt, The Phoenix, Baker Boy, Jolt Switch, Alex, The Illustrious Overseer, Jason, Matt from Kentucky, Paul, Justin, Val, Monica, PJ, Trainer Dex J, Augmented Naturally, Jay Mackle, Brian, and new for this week, G-Stacks87 and Sam. Thank you guys
G-Stacks87.
so much.
Sam.
Also, thank you to Smeatwad. He was a Discord tier patron, upped his patronage to the show supporter tier patron, so we'll add you to the list, Smeatwad. Thank you so much. And a huge shout out to Chow for joining at the Discord tier. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, but thank you so much. And as always, huge shout to our executive producer, Paul Bhatt. Thank you, Paul.
You
if
all
Patreon
are
isn't your thing,
fantastic.
there's still a couple other ways you can help us out. If you're listening on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And if you're listening via a podcast service like Apple Podcasts, you can take a moment to leave us a review. All right, couple bits of miscellaneous news here. Okay, first one, Go Battle League reward adjustment. So the free track now gives 2 rare candies instead of 1. The premium track now gives 8 rare candies instead of 7. So that's good. The Best Buddy badge is now live. We talked about this last week, and we were like, hey, I wonder what the tiers are going to be. 1, 5, and 20? No, it's 1, 10, and 100. 100 Best Buddies, dude. That is a fucking grind. That's going to take a long time. That's going to take a long time.
I haven't even gotten to 1 Best Buddy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're sleeping on that, man. That's what you need that for Master League, man. That way you can give your Master League Pokemon a boost in PvP. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Adam alluded to this earlier. Abra Community Day was announced. They teased this last week. Everyone kind of knew it was coming. We talked about it in the data mine last week as well. 3-hour lures, 3 times catch XP. Here's the big one. We did talk about this last week. The ticketed event. It's only 99 cents. It's an optional ticketed event. We don't have a lot of details on it, but we do know as a reward, you can earn 13,000 Stardust, a Poffin, 3 incense, a rocket radar, and more. So if that's not worth $1, I don't know what to tell you. But I want to discuss this a little bit. Yes, I know everyone's always going to find something to bitch about, right? But I actually saw some healthy conversation regarding this in our Discord and on Twitter. So this is what I was hearing. And Adam, I want to get your take on this. So first I was hearing, why did they make it 99 cents? It should have been free. Then I hear, oh, awesome. I was ready to pay, a couple bucks for this. I paid $8 for Regigigas. I'll definitely pay $1 for this. So I'm seeing it at both sides of the spectrum. Adam, what's your take on the 99 cent thing? Do you think it's a slap in the face? Do you think it's a good deal? Would you have paid more?
Well, the last time they did the ticketed event, which was for Regigigas,
Right.
it felt like a community day. Like, it felt like it brought the community together. And here's another one of these ticketed events, but it's actually on community day. So it's going to get the community together more so than it would if it was just normal. So I would say $1 to add that experience, 100% worth it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And the fact that you get those rewards for completing it, that's huge. I mean, 3 incense is worth the buck. A Poffin is normally $1. Plus you're getting Stardust. Plus you're getting a Rocket Radar. I think that there's definite value there. What people were concerned with was, could this be the doorway to making community days pay to play? Where eventually down the road, there is like a fundamental shift where you're paying for the overall community day experience. I don't know if I don't think that would be the way it goes, but it's definitely a genuine concern right now among the community. But I don't necessarily see it as a smack in the face, but a lot of people were like, it just seems like they're trying to milk us. They're just trying to get something from us. Like, yeah, of course they are. They gotta, you know what I mean? They gotta make money. It's like, it sounds hard to talk about it in support of spending money without sounding like a shill, but it is what it is. But
yeah.
Oh, and like I said, the calendar we talked about last week is live, so I'll put a link in the description. I'll make sure that all the stuff we covered in terms of Go Battle League and those midweek events and everything, I'll add that to the calendar as well. Adam, we haven't done a battle party in a bit.
Oh gosh, not another battle. No, I'm just kidding. I'm excited. We haven't done a battle party.
And when we do our jingle, it'll be our first duet.
Oh yeah.
The last one we did, we played the Go Fest meetup battle party, which was our community doing it. And prior to that, it was with Melissa.
All right.
Are you ready to do a little duet?
All right, let's do it.
Start it off.
All right. Battle party. Ooh, ooh, battle party. Ooh, ooh. And if you're not throwing your hands up in the air with me at the same time when I say that, then you're doing it wrong.
I was shaking them around like I just didn't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
Shake them in the air. All right. So why don't you run us through again? G2G Media, G2G.media coming through with the info this week.
All right. So Thunderous coming crashing down into tier 5 reads. He's a boss with 46,044 CP. This is the incarnate form. Therian form should be coming in the future. Electric flying, which means weak to ice and rock. The things to look out for the 100% catch: 1,911 for level 20, 2,389 for level 25. Boosted in rain/windy weather. Can be duoed. Trioed fairly easily with level 35 plus counters. And we've got counters that are top picks: Poké Battler and Game Press, Rampardos with Smackdown Rock Slide, Go Hub with Rhyperior, Smackdown, and Rock Wrecker.
How many Rampardos do you have?
I have none.
What? Really? Is this like, are you holding out for some reason?
Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have one. I haven't evolved.
Why do you do this?
Because I'm waiting for the shiny. I want the shiny in the decks. This is why my Pokédex will never get filled out.
Rampardos is such a relevant raid Pokemon. No, because today was the first Thunderous raid hour, right? Legendary raid hour. I did it. And I've got a bunch of Rampardos. They're not like all that great, but I've got a bunch of them. So I say to the community, like, hey, anyone want to try to duo or trio this? Does anyone have like a full party of 6 Rampardos? And no one did. And I was like, oh shit, I guess I'm the only one. Go on. We have some other counters here you could use. Not
all
just
right, so
Rampardos.
the other counters, we've got Terrakion, or Mamoswine with Powder Snow Avalanche, Terrakion with Smackdown Rock Slide, Tyranitar with Smackdown Stone Edge, Glaceon with Frost Breath Avalanche, and Weavile with Ice Shard Avalanche.
A lot of diversity, potential for diversity, but, I'm pretty much going to bring Rock. I'm going to bring Rampardos. I have the Rhyperior with Rock Wrecker, I've got plenty of them because of Community Day, so I might as well use them. So I'm going to bring 3 of them. I'll bring a Terrakion. I love the Swords of Justice, so anytime I get a chance to use them, I'm gonna. And then I've got, Old Faithful Tyranitar. So Rampardos, 3 Rhyperior, Terrakion, and Tyranitar. What about you?
I literally have like nothing going on. It looks like I'm bringing my
Tyranitars.
No, it looks like I'm bringing my Rhyperior. That's 100%. My Golem, that's 100%. My Glaceon, that's 100%. And then my... what is this? It's a Cloyster. I'm going to bring my Cloyster, that's 100%.
You love
and then,
that Cloyster.
Yeah, did I already say Rhyperior? No. Rhyperior with Smackdown and Stone Edge. And then what else do I have?
Doesn't your Rhyperior have Rock Wrecker?
No, that one doesn't. So it's probably
that's
not
the
even
old
good to
one.
use.
That's the old one. Yes. Okay.
All right. So I'll probably just bring 2 that aren't fully powered up yet, but do have Rock Wrecker. So I'll get rid of that 100% one and put 2 that, and then that'll equal 6.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. So Tyranitar, 2 Rhyperior, my Glaceon, my Cloyster, and I don't know what I just said. Something else. Oh, and my Golem. So that's 6.
Okay. Whew, man, Golem. I haven't used a Golem in a long time. Remember when Golem was the shit before?
Man, he was brutal on the birds.
Yeah, before the Larvitar Community Day, Golem was the shit.
Man, I loved his little bounce where he turns into a ball and rolls.
Yeah, it's hilarious. All right, last segment of the show. It's always a doozy. Let's poke the bear. Okay, so I put up a poll on Twitter at the beginning of the week. I said, there's a lot of potential topics for this week's Poke the Bear. What is firing you up the most this week? And these are the options.
Can you guess which one I picked?
Hold on, I didn't even say them yet. Shadow Pokemon Buff, Event Overload, Go Battle League Latency, or Niantic Communication. So we got a couple hundred votes, and taking the prize, Event Overload with about 40% of the vote. The Shadow Pokemon Buff and Go Battle League Latency were pretty close. The Shadow Pokemon 23%, Go Battle League Latency 25%, Niantic Communication 12%. I thought that one was I'm going to say do a little bit better, but it's really not better. But I thought that one would get a little bit more activity because people were bitching about things happening in the game unexpectedly. But it seems like the Event Overload is far and away, people are really, 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 combination of FOMO, combination of being burnt out, combination of being overwhelmed. There's just, it was pretty, you guys were very vocal in the community. So I have a ton of responses from Twitter that I want to run through because there's some good ones on here. So I ultimately drafted the question: are you suffering from event overload? Is the March calendar too packed with events? Do you have FOMO? And again, this was before any of the events we talked about today were even added. So it's even compounded now, worse. So here's some responses. I am risen. So many little lame events. And I've heard this from a lot of people, man. The little stuff just doesn't do it for everybody. Sea Princess HNB. There's way too much on the schedule. It's crazy. Stealth991 says, we have to just pick one? See, people are upset.
I like that one.
Matt Calder on Twitter says, I have to say, I really appreciate them letting us know all the events at the start of the month like this, but these shadow changes are coming from nowhere. Even teasing changes a month out could help get players interested. So he liked that they're letting us know like the calendar, but the shadow buff thing, it did kind of come out. If you didn't follow the leaks, this came out of nowhere. So yeah, you got, a 20-day heads up on, Altered Form Giratina coming to raids, but the Shadow Pokemon thing was just like dropped, and now we have Team Rocket Takeover. So yeah, I feel that. Jocelyn Blanchard on Twitter. I love all the events. Illustrious Overseer says, I typically have FOMO. However, the raid situation seems to be where the focus is. We have so many events happening that it almost feels impossible to miss things, given the range of events isolated to each time zone, plus the push notification make it to where we don't miss. Okay, that makes sense. Jolt Switch. It is a lot for sure, and if I miss one, I'll be heartbroken. But it is good to see the content coming, and hopefully this continues to keep the community involved. If there's something you don't want to do, take a break. Focus on what you enjoy. It gives us choice. Makes sense? AZ Girl in an NJ World. I'd rather there be too much than not enough. That makes sense too. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? That makes sense.
Right. That's like me opening the game for Spotlight Hour. I forgot about it, but I opened the game with 10 minutes left, saw a bunch of spawns, and was able to connect the gacha and just catch everything and then go back to what I was doing.
Cheater. Yeah, all right, Just Jack. Just Jack on Twitter. He put a string of tweets together, is what he said. Says, the amount of events is overwhelming. There's absolutely no chance of me being able to get everything. So why bother trying? I have a job, I play football on Saturdays, a wife, and have other hobbies. I'm not going to dedicate every weekend to this game. Good for the people that dedicate themselves to this game. Good for Niantic's wallets. Not good for people like me who, because of the overwhelming amount of events, have decided to take a conscious step back to avoid FOMO and feeling of being behind. I just accept it now. It feels odd to criticize a game for having too many events, but it's not had the effect Niantic would have hoped for with me. So that's interesting. So for him, the amount of, how he's feeling overwhelmed has really caused him to take a step back and say, I got to take a step back here because there's no way I could do it, and I just need to chill. So, yeah, there's a lot going on, but maybe to a fault. Two more here. This one from, this is his @Gingers for Pogo with the display name of Bring Ginger Hair to Pokemon Go. It says, all these events and still no red hair for our avatars. This is for real, though. I feel the sheer number of events has actually pushed me beyond FOMO and into a more peaceful state of mind where I finally accepted that I can enjoy this game without doing absolutely everything. Okay, I talked about this last week. I've been actually talking about this a lot. When the crazy pace seems to become the norm, maybe that will make people chill out and just say, hey, I don't have to fear turning the game on Friday at this time because I know whenever I turn the game on, there's going to be something to do. And again, the 1%, the podcast listener, the people that are on social, we're not indicative of the community at large. We're just the very, very vocal core community. And then our final comment I want to read here. This one's from Mitch @PizzaLover4189 on Twitter. This is a good one. It says, I feel like people forget that it's okay to take breaks from a game. Remember, self-care is one of the most important things a person can do for themselves. One shouldn't feel overwhelmed with all this event overload, and if they do, and it's causing stress, then it's best to take small breaks from playing. Mitch, that's a great point. That's a difficult one.
I like that.
But it's definitely a difficult one because of the fear
of
missing out.
It's like today, instead of going out and playing for raid day or raid hour, I sat and I busted out like my meal prep for this whole weekend. So okay. I'm good for lunch at work. I don't have to spend any money. I made everything. So
that's good, man. I'm proud of you for that. I did not do that. I was out raiding Thundurus.
I still don't have a Thundurus because, I honestly, I can't win Global League. So there's that. But
yeah, but you have all month. You have all month. And I through all this, people were talking, with lots of great conversation on Twitter surrounding this. But some people were saying, have things like the raid hour killed raiding in general. Because now, rather than them saying, hey, I'll go out every day for a couple raids here and there, I'll focus all my raids for the month in 1 or 2 hours over the month. So the culture is changing, but you got to remember they're giving you choices. Thunderous is focused from 6 to 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, but he's also available all fucking month. So, it's again, Niantic is doing a great job balancing. At least I think so. But thank you guys so much for writing in. This is a good conversation. I don't think that this is going to stop. This has only been increasing over the past 6 months. And last week, I didn't think it could get any more intense. And then they added 2 additional events. So I just don't think it's going to stop. It's crazy.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Sparking Madism. All right. If you're from the hood, you know that song. All right, Adam, I think we did it. That's a show.
We did it.
We did it. We did it.
We got the battle party, the whoop whoop.
We poked the bear.
Yeah, we did it. Oh, and all that other stuff.
Yes, it was a lot. So definitely check out the link in the description for the calendar, because this shit is just very impossible to keep up with. All the links to everything we talked about on today's show will be in the description. You can pick up our Secret League pin at the Secret League store, link in there as well. Email us, info@luredup.com. Check out the website, luredup.com or pokemonprofessor.com. You can leave us a inappropriate voicemail. Doesn't have to be inappropriate. Text or a picture or video, 732-835-8639. And again, links to everywhere you can find us in the description. Adam, we did it. That's really it.
That's it. There's no more Pokemon news. There's no more Pokemon stuff.
Well,
shiny update. I hatched a party hat Squirtle today.
What?
And then last night on my way home, I caught a shiny Pinsir.
What? Fuck. I blew my load with the Gengars. I never get fucking shinies.
The game was like, we know, Ken.
Yes,
we got you.
Well, that's what they're saying. All the people that I was with, they're like, oh yeah, now you're all buddy with fucking Niantic. They're dropping shinies in your account. And then Gilly got one on his first one. I was like, oh shit, maybe they did it. All right, guys, keep training, trainers. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.